friend Serge has bought a painting. It's a canvas about 5 feet by 4, white. The background is white, and if you screw up your eyes, you can make out some fine white diagonal lines. Serge is one of my oldest friends. He's done very well for himself. He's a dermatologist, and he's really into art. On Monday, I went over to see the painting. Serge had actually got a hold of it on Saturday, but he'd been lusting after it for several months, this white painting with white lines. Expensive?
40,000.
40,000?
Mary Boone would take it off my hands for 45.
Who's that?
Boone?
Never heard of her.
Mary Boone. The Boone Gallery.
The Boone Gallery would take this off your hands for 45.
No, not the gallery. Her. Boone herself. For her own collection.
So why didn't Boone buy it?
It's important for them to sell to private clients. That's how the market circulates.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're not in the right spot. Look at it from this angle. Do you see the lines?
What's the name of the
painter? The Entreos.
Well known?
Oh, very, very.
Serge, you haven't bought this painting for $40,000.
You don't understand. That's what it costs. It's an Entreos.
You haven't bought this painting for $40,000.
I'd have known you'd miss the point.
You paid $40,000 for this shit?
My friend Mark's an intelligent enough guy. I've always valued our relationship. He has a good job. He's an aeronautical engineer. But he's one of those new-style intellectuals who are not only enemies of modernism, but seem to take some sort of incomprehensible pride in running it down. In recent years, these nostalgia merchants have become quite breathtakingly arrogant. What do you mean by this shit?
Serge, why aren't you laughing? Where's your sense of humor? It is fantastic you buying this painting.
I don't care how fantastic you think it is. I don't mind if you laugh. But I would like to know what you mean by this shit.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. By whose standards is it shit? If you call something shit, you have to have some criterion to judge it by.
Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you are talking to? Hello?
You have no interest in contemporary painting. You never have. This is a field about which you know absolutely nothing. So how can you assert that any given object which conforms to laws that you don't understand is shit?
Because it is. It's shit. I'm sorry.
He doesn't like the painting. Fine. But there was no warmth in the way he reacted. No attempt. No warmth when he dismissed it without a thought. Just that vile, pretentious laugh. A real know-it-all laugh. I hated that laugh.
It's a complete mystery to me, Serge buying this painting. It's unsettled me. It's filled me with some indefinable unease. When I left his place, I had to take 3 tabs of Advil, which Paula recommended. Advil or Xanax, she said. Advil or Xanax, which do you prefer? I mean, how the hell should I know? Because I couldn't begin to understand how Serge, my friend, could have bought that picture. $40,000. I mean, he's comfortable, but he's not rolling in money. Comfortable, that's all. And he spends 40 grand on a white painting. I have to discuss this with Ivan. Ivan is a friend of ours, although Ivan is a very tolerant guy, which of course, when it comes to relationships, is the worst thing you can be. Ivan is tolerant because he couldn't care less. If Ivan tolerates the fact that Serge has spent 40 grand on a white painting, it means he couldn't care less about Serge. Obviously.
I'm Ivan. I'm a little tense at the moment because having spent my life in textiles, I just found a new job as a sales agent with a wholesale stationery business. People like me. My professional life has always been a failure. And I'm getting married in 2 weeks. She's a lovely, intelligent girl, from a good family.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for the top to my pen.
Okay, that's enough.
I had it 5 minutes ago.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Forget about it. Buy another one.
It's a very special felt tip. It writes on any surface. It's infuriating. Objects. I can't tell you how they infuriate me. It was in my hand 5 minutes ago.
Are you going to live here?
Do you think it's suitable for a young couple?
Young couple.
Try not to laugh like that in front of Catherine.
How's the stationery business?
It's all right. I'm learning.
You've lost weight.
Yeah, a little. I'm pissed off about that top. It'll all dry up. Sit down.
If you keep on looking for that top, I'm leaving.
All right, I'll stop. You want something to drink?
Perrier, if you have one. Have you seen Serge lately?
Not lately, no. Have you?
Yesterday.
Is he okay?
Yes. He just bought a painting.
Nice.
White. White. Imagine a canvas, about 5 feet by 4, white, with a white background, completely white. In fact, with maybe a few white diagonal stripes. Oh, and maybe another horizontal white line towards the bottom.
Well, how can you see them?
What?
Well, these lines. If the background is white, how can you see these lines?
You just can. Because I suppose the lines are slightly gray or vice versa, or anyway, there are varying kinds of white. There's more than one kind of white.
Well, don't get upset.
Well,
why are you getting upset?
Because you immediately start quibbling. Why can't you let me finish?
Go on.
Right. So you have some idea of what this painting looks like.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes. Now you have to guess how much Serge paid for it.
Well, who's the painter?
Antrios. Ever heard of him?
No. Is he fashionable?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that.
Well, it's logical.
No, it's not logical.
Well, of course it's logical. You asked me to guess the price of the painting. You know very well the price depends on how fashionable the painter is.
I'm not asking you to apply a whole set of critical standards. I'm not asking you for a professional estimate. I'm asking you what you, Ivan, would pay for a white painting gussied up with a few off-white stripes.
jack shit.
Right! Now what about Serge? Pick a figure at random.
$1,000. 5,000. 10,000.
Keep going.
20. 40.
40 grand.
No.
Yes.
40 grand.
40 grand.
Has he gone crazy?
Looks like it.
Well, all the same.
What do you mean all the same?
What? If it makes him happy, he can afford it.
So that's what you think, huh?
Why? What do you think?
You don't understand the seriousness of this, do you?
No.
Strange how you're missing the basic point of this story. You can't see the seriousness of it. All you can see are the externals.
What is the seriousness of it?
You don't see what this means?
You want a cashew?
From now on, our friend Serge is going to be known as a fantastic collector.
Well,
yes. From now on, our friend Serge is going to be one of the great connoisseurs.
Bullshit.
Of course it's bullshit. You can't buy your way in that cheap. That's what he thinks.
Oh, well, I see.
Doesn't that bother you?
No. Well, not if it makes him happy.
If it makes him happy, well, what is that supposed to mean? What kind of a philosophy is that if it makes him happy?
Well, if it's not doing any harm to anyone else.
But it is! It is doing harm to me! I'm disturbed! I am disturbed! More than that, I'm hurt. Yes, I am. I am fond of Serge, and to see him let himself be ripped off and lose every ounce of discernment through sheer snobbery.
Well, I don't see why this surprises you. He's always haunted art galleries like crazy. He's always been an exhibition freak.
He's always been a freak, but a freak with a sense of humor. You see, what really drives me crazy is you can't laugh with him anymore.
I'm sure you can.
You can't!
Well, have you tried?
Oh, of course I tried. I laughed. Heartily. What do you think I did? He didn't crack a smile. Although, 40 grand, that's kind of an expensive laugh.
I'll make him laugh.
I'd be amazed. Any more nuts?
He'll laugh. You'll see.
And you get along with the in-laws?
Oh, wonderfully. As far as they're concerned, I'm just some jerk, stumbling from one iffy job to another, and now I'm groping my way into the world of vellum. This thing on my hand, what is it? Is it serious?
No.
Oh, good. So what's new?
Nothing. A lot of work. Exhausted. It's nice to see you. You never call.
I don't like to disturb you.
You're kidding. You just speak to my secretary and I'll call you right back.
Well, I guess so. Your place gets more and more monastic.
Yes. You seen Mark lately?
Not lately. No, have you?
2 or 3 days ago.
Is he all right?
Yes. More or less.
Oh?
No, he's all right.
Well, I talked to him on the phone last week. He seemed all right to me.
Well, he is. He's all right.
Well, you seem to be implying that he wasn't all right.
On the contrary, I said he was all right.
Well, more or less, you said.
Yes. More or less. More or less all right.
You been out? Seen anything?
No, I can't afford to go out.
Huh?
I'm ruined.
Oh?
Would you like to see something special? Would you?
Sure I would. Yeah, show me. Yes.
Entreos.
Yes, yes.
It's a 70s entreos. Worth mentioning. He's going through a similar phase now, but this one's from the 70s.
Yes. Yes. Expensive?
In absolute terms, yes. In fact, no. Do you like it?
Oh, yes, yes.
Plain.
Plain. Yes. But at the same time.
Magnetic.
Yes.
You don't get the resonance just at the moment.
Well, little.
No, you don't. You have to come back in the middle of the day. That resonance you get from something monochromatic just doesn't happen under artificial light. Not that this is actually monochromatic.
Oh, no. No. How much?
40,000.
Oh, very reasonable.
Very. Crazy or what?
Crazy.
40,000. Mark's seen the painting.
Oh?
Devastated.
Oh.
He told me it was shit. A completely inappropriate description.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't call this shit.
No.
You can say I don't get it. I can't grasp it. But you can't say it's shit.
Well, you've seen his place.
Nothing to see. It's like yours. Well, what I mean is, well, you couldn't care less.
Well, his taste is classical. He likes things classical. What do you expect?
He started with this sardonic laugh. Not a trace of charm. Not a trace of humor.
Oh, well, you know Mark is moody. There's nothing new about that.
He has no sense of humor. With you, I can laugh. With him, I'm like a block of ice.
It's true. He's a little gloomy right now.
I don't blame him for not responding to this painting. He doesn't have the training. There's a whole apprenticeship you have to go through, which he hasn't, either because he's never wanted to, or because he has no particular instinct for it. None of that matters. No, what I blame him for is his tone of voice, his smugness, his tactlessness. I blame him for his insensitivity. I don't blame him for not being interested in modern art. I couldn't give a shit about that. I like him for other reasons.
Oh, well, he likes you.
No. I felt it the other day, a kind of condescension, contempt, with a really bitter edge.
No.
Yes, don't keep trying to smooth things over. Where do you get this urge to be the great reconciler of the human race? Why don't you admit that Mark is atrophying, if he hasn't already atrophied?
We laughed.
You laugh.
We laughed. Both of us. We laughed. I promise you on Catherine's life. We laughed. We had a good laugh, both of us together.
You told him his painting was shit, and you had a good laugh.
No, I didn't tell him his painting was shit. We laughed spontaneously.
You arrived, you looked at the painting, and then you laughed.
Yes.
And then he laughed.
Yes.
And it was a genuine laugh?
Oh, perfectly genuine.
Well, good. Then I've made a mistake.
It's even better than you think. It was Serge who laughed first.
It was Serge who laughed first.
Yes.
He laughed first, and then you joined in.
Yes.
But what made him laugh?
Well, he laughed because he sensed I was about to laugh. I guess he laughed to put me at my ease.
Well, it doesn't count if he laughed first. If he laughed first, it means it wasn't a genuine... If he laughed first, it was to diffuse your laughter. It means it wasn't a genuine laugh.
It was a genuine laugh.
It might have been a genuine laugh, but it wasn't for the right reason.
What's the right reason? I'm confused.
You and he weren't laughing at the painting. You were laughing at the painting, and he was laughing to ingratiate himself, to put himself on your wavelength, to show that on top of being an aesthete who can earn more in a year than you, who can spend more on a painting than you earn in a year, he's still the same old rebellious pal you used to kid around with.
Well, you know...
Yes?
This is going to amaze you.
Go on.
I didn't like the painting, but I didn't actually hate it.
Well, of course not. You can't hate nothing. You can't hate what's invisible.
No, it has something.
What do you mean?
It has something. It's not nothing.
You're kidding.
Well, I'm not as harsh as you. It's a work of art. There's a system behind it.
A system?
A system.
What system?
Well, it's the completion of a journey. It wasn't painted by accident. It's a work of art which stakes its claim as part of a trajectory. Oh, go ahead and laugh.
You're parroting all of Serge's nonsense. From him, it is heartbreaking. From you, it is just comical.
Mark, this smugness, you want to watch that. You're getting bitter. It's not very attractive.
Good. The older I get, the more offensive I hope to become.
Great.
A system.
You're impossible to talk to.
You see this piece of shit. But never mind. There's a system behind it. Oh. Do you think there's a system behind this landscape? No, huh? Too evocative, too expressive. Everything is on the canvas. No scope for a system.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Ivan, tell me your feelings.
I felt a resonance.
You felt a resonance.
You're denying that I am capable of appreciating this painting for myself.
Of course I am.
But why?
Because I know you. Because apart from being disastrously open-minded, you're quite sane.
Oh, I wish I could say the same for you.
Ivan, look me in the eye.
I'm looking at you.
Were you moved by Serge's painting? No. Answer me this. You and Catherine received this painting as a wedding present. Does it make you happy? Does it make you happy?
Of course it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me happy, but then I'm not the sort of person, generally speaking, who can say I'm happy, just like that. I'm trying to think of an occasion when I could have said, yes, I'm happy. Are you happy to be getting married? My mother stupidly asked me one day, are you at least happy to be getting married? Why wouldn't I be? What do you mean, why wouldn't I be? You're either happy or you're not happy. What's why wouldn't I be got to do with it?
As far as I'm concerned, it's not white. When I say as far as I'm concerned, I mean objectively. Objectively speaking, it's not white. It has a white background, with a whole range of grays. There's even some red in it. You could say it's very pale, but I wouldn't like it if it was white. Mark thinks it's white. That's his limit. Mark thinks it's white because he's gotten hung up on the idea that it's white. Unlike Ivan. Ivan can see it's not white. Mark can think what he likes. What do I care?
Obviously, I should have taken the Xanax. Why do I have to be so categorical? What possible difference can it make to me if Serge lets himself be taken in by modern art? I mean, it is a serious matter, but I could have found a different way to put it to him. I could have used a less aggressive tone. Even if it makes me physically ill that my best friend has bought a white painting, all the same, I ought to avoid attacking him over it. I have to be nicer to him. From now on, I am on my best behavior.
Feel like a laugh?
Go on.
Ivan liked the entrees.
Where is it?
You want another look?
Let me see it.
I knew you'd come around to it. Ivan got it right away. All right, it's just a picture. Listen, there's no reason to get bogged down with it. The life's too short. By the way, have you read this? Read it. It's a masterpiece. Incredibly modern. Read that, you don't need to read anything else. What with the office, the hospital, Francine, who's now decreed that I should see the children every weekend, which is something new for Francine. The notion that children actually need a father. I haven't got time to read anymore. I'm obliged to go straight for the essentials.
As in painting, where you've ingeniously eliminated form and color, those old chestnuts.
Yes, although I'm still quite capable of appreciating more figurative work, like your Flemish number. Very restful.
What's Flemish about it? It's a view of Carcassonne.
Yes, well, it's slightly Flemish in style. I mean, the window, the view. Well, in any case, it's very pretty.
Well, it's not worth anything, you know that.
What difference does that make? Anyway, in a few years, God knows if the entrails will be worth anything.
You know, I've been thinking, and I've changed my mind. The other day, driving across town, I was thinking about you, and I said to myself, isn't there, deep down, something really poetic about what Serge has done? Isn't giving in to this incoherent urge to buy an authentically poetic impulse?
You're very conciliatory today. Unrecognizable. What's this bland, submissive tone of voice? It doesn't suit you at all, by the way.
No, I'm trying to explain. I'm apologizing.
Apologizing? What for?
Well, I'm too high-strung, I'm too thin-skinned, I overreact. You could say I lack judgment.
Read Seneca.
That's it. See, you say to me, read Seneca, and I could have easily gotten annoyed. I'm quite capable of being really annoyed by your saying to me, in the course of our conversation, read Seneca. Which is absurd of me.
No, it's not absurd.
Really?
No, because you thought you could identify.
I didn't say I was annoyed.
You said you could easily.
Yes, I could easily
get annoyed, and I understand that, because when you told me you lacked judgment, I said, read Seneca, and you thought you could identify a kind of superiority. Well, I tell you to read Seneca, and, well, it's just obnoxious.
Well, it is a little.
Having said that, it's true you lack judgment. Because I didn't say read Seneca. I said read Seneca.
You're right. You're right.
You've lost your sense of humor, Mark. You really have lost your sense of humor.
Probably.
When I was talking to Ivan the other day, we agreed that you'd lost your sense of humor. Where is he? He's incapable of being on time.
Ivan thinks I've lost my sense of humor?
Yes, Ivan agrees with me that recently you somewhat lost your sense of humor.
The last time you two saw each other, Ivan really liked the painting and said that I had lost my sense of humor.
Yes, so the painting really very much, and he meant it. What's that you're eating?
Xanax.
Oh, you believe in Western meds now.
Oh, I don't believe in anything.
Didn't you think Ivan had lost a lot of weight?
So she.
It's the wedding. Eating away.
Yes.
How's Paula?
All right. Where are you going to put it?
Haven't decided. There or there. Too ostentatious.
Are you going to have it framed?
No.
Why not?
It's not supposed to be framed.
Is that right?
The artist doesn't want it to be. It mustn't be interrupted. It's already in its setting. Now, look, you see?
Oh, what is that, adhesive tape?
No, it's a kind of craft paper made up by the artist.
It's funny the way you say the artist.
What else am I supposed to say?
Well, I mean, you say the artist, and you could say the painter, or whatever his name is, Entreos.
Yes?
But you say the artist as if he's some sort of... Well, anyways, never mind. What are we going to see tonight? Let's see a movie with just a little bit of substance for once.
It's 8 o'clock. Everything will have started. I can't imagine how this man who has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do, am I right, manages to be late every single time. Where the fuck is he?
Well, let's just eat dinner.
All right, it's 5 after 8. We said we'd meet between 7 and 1/2 past. What do you mean the way I say the artist?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. I was going to say something stupid.
Yes, well, go on.
You say the artist as if he's some sort of unattainable being, some sort of god.
Well, for me, he is a god. You don't think I'd have forked out a fortune for a mere mortal?
Well, no.
I went to the Museum of Modern Art on Monday. Do you know how many Entreoses they have at the MoMA? 3. 3 Entreoses.
Amazing.
And mine's as good as any of them, if not better. Listen, I have a suggestion. Let's give Ivan exactly 3 more minutes, and then let's get the hell out of here. I found a great new place. Italian food.
Why are you so jumpy?
I'm not jumpy.
Yes, you are jumpy.
I'm not jumpy. All right, I'm jumpy. I'm jumpy because this slackness is intolerable. This inability to practice any kind of self-discipline.
The fact is, I'm getting on your nerves, and you're taking it out on poor Ivan.
Poor Ivan? Are you shitting me? What do you mean, poor Ivan? You're not getting on my nerves. Why should you be getting on my nerves? He's getting on my nerves. It's true. He's getting on my nerves. It's this ingratiating tone of voice, a little smile behind every word. It's as if he's forcing himself to be pleasant. Whatever you do, don't be pleasant. Don't be pleasant. Could it be the Entreos? Could buying the Entreos have triggered this feeling of constraint between us? Buying something without his approval? Well, screw his approval. Screw your approval, Mark.
Could it be the Entreos? Buying the Entreos? No, it started some time ago. To be precise, it started on the day we were discussing some work of art, and you uttered, quite seriously, the word deconstruction. You. It wasn't so much the word deconstruction that upset me. It was the air of solemnity you imbued it with. You said humorlessly, unapologetically, without a trace of irony, the word deconstruction. You, my friend. Well, I didn't know the best way to handle the situation, so I made this throwaway remark. I said, I guess I must be getting intolerant in my old age. And your response was, who do you think you are? What makes you so high and mighty? What gives you the right to set yourself apart? Serge responded in the shittiest possible way, and totally unexpectedly. Oh, you're just Mark. What makes you think you're so special? That day, I should have punched him right in the mouth, and as he lay there, half dead, I should have said to him, you're supposed to be my friend, Serge. What sort of a friend are you if you don't think your friends are special? Italian, you said. Oh, a little heavy, isn't it? A little fatty, all those sausages. What do you think?
12 minutes past 8.
So, a crisis. Insoluble problem. Major crisis. Both stepmothers want their names on the wedding invitation. Catherine adores her stepmother, who more or less brought her up. She wants her name on the invitation. She wants it, and the stepmother is not anticipating, which is understandable, because the mother is dead, not appearing next to Catherine's father. Whereas my stepmother, whom I detest, it's out of the question her name should appear on the invitation. But my father won't have his name on it if hers isn't, unless Catherine's stepmother is left off. I suggested none of the parents' names should be on it. After all, we're not adolescents. We can announce our own wedding and invite people ourselves. So Catherine screamed her head off, arguing that would be a slap in the face for her parents, who are paying through the nose for the reception, and especially for her stepmother, who is going to so much trouble when she isn't even her daughter. And I finally let myself be persuaded, totally against my better judgment, because she wore me down. I finally agreed that my stepmother's name would go on the invitation. My stepmother, whom I detest, who's a complete bitch. So, I called my mother to warn her. Mother, I said, I've done everything I can to avoid this, but we have absolutely no choice. Colette's name has to be on the invitation. She said, if Colette's name is on the invitation, take mine off. I said, Mother, please, I beg you, don't make things even more difficult. She said, how dare you suggest my name is left to float around the card on its own, as if I were some abandoned woman. Below Colette will be clamped onto your father's name like a limpet. I said, Mother, I have friends waiting for me. I'm going to hang up and we'll discuss all this tomorrow after a good night's sleep. She said, how dare you suggest that I'm an afterthought? I said, what are you talking about, Mother? You're not an afterthought. She said, of course I am. And when you say don't make things even more difficult, what you mean is everything's already been organized. Everything's already been decided behind my back. Everything's been cooked up. Good old Nadia. Good old Nadia, she said. I'm getting there. I've forgotten what she said. Good old Nadia. Oh, that's it. I knew there was something. I knew. Get this. In aid of an event, the importance of which I am having some trouble understanding. I said, Mother, I have friends waiting for me. She said, there's always something better to do than I am. Go ahead. Goodbye. She hung up. Catherine, who was next to me but hadn't heard her side of the conversation, said, "What did she say?" He said, "She doesn't want her name on the invitation with Colette." I said, "Well, she doesn't want her name on the invitation with Colette, which is understandable. I'm not talking about that. What did she say about the wedding?" "Nothing." "You're lying." "Kathy, I'm not. I promise. She just doesn't want her name on the invitation with Colette." "Well, call her back and tell her when your son is getting married, you rise above your vanity." "You could say the same thing to your stepmother?" "That's got nothing to do with it," Catherine shouted. "It's me. I'm the one who wants her name on the wedding invitation. It's not her, the poor thing. She's tact personified. If she had any idea of the trouble this was causing, she'd be down on her knees begging for her name to be taken off. So call your mother." So I called her again. By now, I'm in shreds. Catherine is listening on the extension. "Yvonne," my mother started, "up until now you have conducted your affairs in the most chaotic way imaginable, and just because out of the blue you have decided to embark upon matrimony, I find myself obliged to spend all afternoon and evening with your father, a man I have not seen in 17 years and to whom I was not expecting to have to reveal my hip size or my puffy cheeks. Not to mention Colette, who, incidentally I may tell you, according to Felix Parolari, has started taking up bridge." My mother always played bridge. "I can see how that can't be helped, but on the invitation, the one item everyone is going to receive and examine, I insist on making a solo appearance." Catherine, listening on the extension, shakes her head and screws up her face in disgust. "Mother," I said, "why are you so selfish?" "I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish, Yvonne. You're not going to start too. You're not going to be like Ms. Romero this morning and tell me that I have a heart of stone, that everybody in the family has a heart of stone. That's what Ms. Romero said this morning. She's going completely insane, by the way. When I refused to raise her pay to $15 an hour in cash, she had the gall to say that everyone in our family had a heart of stone, when she knows perfectly well about poor Andre's pacemaker. You haven't even bothered to drop him a line. Yes, that's right. Very funny. Everything's a joke to you. It's not me who's the selfish one, Yvonne. You've still got a lot to learn about life, but you go. Go ahead. Go ahead, darling. Go and see your precious friends."
Then what?
Then nothing. Nothing's been resolved. I hung up. Mini drama with Catherine cut short because I was late.
Why do you let yourself be fucked over by all these women?
Why do I let myself be fucked over? I don't know. They're all insane.
You've lost a lot of weight.
Of course I have. 10 pounds. Purely through stress.
Oh, read Seneca.
Oh, just what I need. The happy life. What's he suggest?
It's a masterpiece.
Oh?
He hasn't read it.
Well, no, but Serge just told me it was a masterpiece.
I said it was a masterpiece because it is a masterpiece.
Right?
It is a masterpiece.
Why are you getting so upset?
You seem to be insinuating I use the word masterpiece any chance I get.
Oh, not at all.
You said the word in a kind of sarcastic way.
Not at all.
Yes, you said the word masterpiece in a kind
Is
of...
he crazy? Not at all. Although when you used the word, you qualified it by saying incredibly modern.
Yes? So?
So you said incredibly modern, as if modern was the highest compliment you could give, as if there was no other thing higher in the world to say about it than incredibly modern.
So?
That's all. And please note I made no mention of the word incredibly modern.
You're really needling me today.
No, I'm not.
you're not gonna fight. That would just about finish me off.
You don't think it's extraordinary that a man who wrote nearly 2,000 years ago should still be so completely up to date?
Of course not. It's the very definition of a classic.
You're just playing with words.
What do you want to do? I guess we can forget about the movies. I'm sorry. Do you want to go eat?
Serge tells me you're very taken with his painting.
Yes, I am. Kind of taken with it. Yes. You're not, I gather.
No. Let's go eat. Serge has a very tempting recommendation. Italian.
You think the food's too fatty.
Well, I think the food is a little bit on the fatty side, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
No, if you think the food's too fatty, we'll find somewhere else.
No, let's give it a shot.
All right, we'll go to the restaurant if you think you'll like it. If not, we won't. You like Italian food?
Well, I'll do whatever you like.
He'll do whatever you like. Whatever you like, he will always do.
What's the matter with you? You're both acting very strange.
He's right. Once in a while, you could have an opinion of your own.
Listen, if you think you're going to use me as your punching bag, I'm out of here. I've put up with enough today.
Oh, where's your sense of humor, Ivan?
What?
Where's your sense of humor, kiddo?
Where's my sense of humor? I don't see anything to laugh at. Where's my sense of humor? Are you trying to be funny?
I think you've somewhat recently started to lose your sense of humor. You better watch that, believe me.
What's the matter with you?
Don't you think that recently I've also somewhat lost my sense of humor?
Oh, I see.
All right, that's enough. Let's make a decision. Telling you the truth, I'm not even hungry.
You're both acting really sinister this evening.
You want my opinion about your women problems?
Go on.
In my view, the most hysterical of them all is Catherine.
No
By
question.
far.
No
And
question.
if you're already letting yourself be fucked over by her, you're in for a hideous future.
So what can I do?
Cancel it.
Cancel the wedding?
He's right.
But I can't. Are you crazy?
Why not?
Because I can't, that's all. It's all arranged. I've only been working in the stationery business for a month, and...
What's that got to do with anything?
It's her uncle's stationery business. He had absolutely no need to take on anyone. Least of all, someone who's only ever worked in textiles.
Do whatever you want. I've told you what I think.
I don't mean to be rude, Serge. I'm sorry, but you're not necessarily the person I would come to for matrimonial advice. You can't claim to have been a great success in that field.
Precisely.
I can't back out of the way. I know Catherine's hysterical, but she has her good points. There's certain crucial qualities you need when you're marrying someone like me. Where are you going to put it?
I don't know yet.
Well, why don't you put it there?
Because there, it would be wiped out by the sunlight.
Oh. Yeah. I thought of you today at the store. We ran off 500 posters by this guy who paints white flowers, totally white, against a white background.
The entreos is not white.
No, of course not. Well, I was just saying.
You think this painting is not white, Ivan?
Not entirely, no.
Oh, then what color is it?
Well, various colors. There's yellow. There's gray. There's some slightly ochreish lines.
And you're moved by these colors.
Well, yes, I'm moved by these colors.
You're spineless, Ivan. You have no substance. You're an amoeba.
Why are you attacking Ivan like this?
Because he's a little ass kisser. He's obsequious, dazzled by money, dazzled by what he believes to be culture. And as you know, culture is something I absolutely piss on.
What has gotten into you?
How could you, Ivan? In front of me? In front of me, Ivan?
What do you mean in front of you? What do you mean in front of you? I find these colors touching. Yes, if it's all the same to you. Stop wanting to control everything.
How could you say in front of me that you find these colors touching?
Because it's the truth.
The truth? You find these colors touching?
Yes, I find these colors touching.
You find these colors touching, Ivan?
He finds these colors touching. He's perfectly entitled to.
No, he's not entitled to.
Why is he not entitled to?
He's not entitled to.
I'm not entitled to?
No.
What do you mean he's not entitled to? I don't think you're very well. I think you should go and see somebody.
He's not entitled to say that he finds these colors touching because he doesn't.
I don't find these colors touching?
There are no colors. You can't see them. And you don't find them touching.
Well, speak for yourself.
This is really demeaning, Ivan.
Who do you think you are, Mark? Who are you to legislate? You don't like anyone. You despise everything. You take pride in not being a man of your time.
What is that supposed to mean, a man of my time?
I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
I'm leaving. I don't see why I have to put up with your tantrums.
Don't go. You're not going to start taking offense, are you? If you go, you're giving in to him. A man of his time is a man who lives in his own time.
Bullshit. How can a man live in any other time but his own? Answer me that.
A man of his time is someone of whom it can be said in 20 years or 100 years' time, he was representative of his era.
To what end?
What do you mean, to what end?
Well, what use is of it to me if someday somebody says I was representative of my era?
Listen, sweetheart, we're not talking about you. If you could imagine such a thing, we don't give a fuck about you. A man of his time, I'm trying to explain to you, like most people you admire, is someone who makes some kind of contribution to the human race. A man of his time doesn't assume the history of art has come to an end with a pseudo-Flemish view of Cavaillon.
Carcassonne.
Same thing! A man of his time plays his part in the fundamental dynamic of evolution.
And that's a good thing, in your view.
It's not good or bad. Why do you always have to moralize? It's just the way things are.
And you, for example, you play your role in the fundamental dynamic of evolution.
I do.
What about Ivan?
Oh, surely not. What part can an amoeba play?
In his way, Ivan is a man of his time.
How can you tell? Surely not from that motel painting he has hanging on his wall.
That is not a motel painting.
It is a motel.
It is not.
What's the difference? Ivan represents a certain way of thinking, a way of life that is completely modern, and so do you. I'm sorry, but you're a typical man of your time. And in fact, the harder you try not to be, the more you are.
Okay, fine. So what's the problem?
There is no problem except for you, because you take pride in your desire to shut yourself off from humanity, and you'll never manage to. It's like you're in quicksand, and the more you struggle to get out of it, the deeper you sink. Now apologize to Ivan.
Ivan is a coward.
Bravo.
That wasn't a good idea to see each other tonight, was it? Well, maybe I ought to go too.
Maybe.
Right.
You're the coward. Attacking someone who's incapable of defending himself, as you well know.
You're right. You're right. And you know, when you put it like that, it makes me feel even worse. The thing is, all of a sudden, I can't understand it. I have no idea what binds me to Ivan. I have no idea what my relationship with him consists of.
Ivan's always been what he is.
No, he used to be eccentric, kind of absurd. I mean, he was always unstable, but his eccentricity was disarming.
What about me?
What about you?
Do you have any idea what binds you to me?
That's a question that could take us down a very long road.
Lead on.
I'm sorry I upset Ivan.
Ah! At last! You finally said something approximately human. What makes it worse is that motel painting he has hanging on his wall, I'm afraid it was painted by his father.
It was? It was? Oh, shit! No, but you said that!
Yes, but I remembered as soon as I said it.
Oh, shit.
Ivan returns! The elevator was full. So I plunged down the stairs, clattering all the way down, thinking, a coward. An amoeba. No substance. I thought, I'll come back with a gun and blow his head off. Then I'll see how spineless and obsequious I am. I got to the lobby and I said to myself, listen, pal, you haven't been in therapy for 6 years to wind up shooting your best friend. And you haven't been in therapy for 6 years without learning that some deep anxiety must lie behind this insane aggression. So up I race, telling myself as I mount the penitential stair, this is a cry for help. I have to help Mark, if it's the last thing I do. In fact, the other day I discussed you both with Finkles on.
You discussed us with Finkles on?
I discussed everything with Finkles on.
Why exactly were you discussing us?
I forbid you to discuss me with that asshole.
You're in no position to forbid me anything.
Why were you discussing us?
I knew your relationship was under restraint, and I wanted Finkles on to explain what...
And what did the bastard say?
Well, he said something kind of amusing, actually.
Oh, they're allowed to give their opinions.
No, he never gives his opinion, but this time he did give his opinion. He even made a gesture, and he never makes a gesture. I always say to him, for God's sake, move around a little, you're so cold.
All right, what did he say?
Oh, who gives a fuck what he said?
What did he say?
What possible interest could we have in what the fuck he said?
I want to know what the bastard said, all right?
Shit.
You want to know?
Yes.
You took notes?
It was complicated, so I wrote it down. Should I read it to you?
Go on.
If I'm who I am because I'm who I am, and you're who you are because you're who you are, then I'm who I am and you're who you are. If, on the other hand, I'm who I am because you're who you are, and you're who you are because I'm who I am, then I'm not who I am, and you're not who you are.
How much do you pay this man?
$100 a session, twice a week.
Good. You're very lucky to be getting the benefit of this man's experience.
Absolutely. We really appreciate it if you'd make a copy for us.
Yes, it is bound to come in handy.
You're wrong. It's very profound.
If it's because of him that you've come here to turn the other cheek, you should be thankful to him, grateful to him. I mean, he's cut off your balls, but you're happy. And that's all that counts.
And all this because he doesn't want to believe that I like your antrios.
I don't give a fuck what you think of it, either of you.
The more I see it, the more I like it, honest.
Listen, let's stop talking about the painting, shall we? Once and for all, The subject is closed.
Why are you so touchy?
I'm not touchy, Mark. You've told us what you think. Fine. I'm done with it.
Well, you're getting upset.
I'm not upset. I'm exhausted.
You see, if you're touchy about it, it means you're too caught up in other people's opinions.
I'm exhausted, Mark. To tell you the truth, this whole discussion is pointless, and I'm on the brink of getting bored with the both of you.
Let's go eat.
Why don't you two go off together?
No, it's so rare that the three of us are together.
Just as well, by the look of it.
I don't understand what's going on. Can't we just calm down? There's no reason to insult one another, especially over a painting.
You realize all this calm down and waving the white flag is just adding fuel to the fire. Is this a new thing?
I will not be undermined.
Oh, very impressive. Maybe I should go see this Finkelzahn.
You can't. There are no openings. What's that you're eating?
Xanax!
I have given in to the logic of events. Marriage. Children. Death. Stationary! What else can happen?
Oh no, we're not worthy to look at it.
Exactly!
Or are you afraid, if it stays in my presence, you'll wind up looking at it through my eyes?
No. You know what Paul Valery says, and I'd go quite a bit further.
I don't give a fuck what Paul Valery says.
You've stopped liking Paul Valery?
Don't quote Paul Valery at me.
But you used to love Paul Valery.
I don't give a fuck what Paul Valery says.
But I discovered him through you. You're the one that got me into Paul Valery.
Don't quote Paul Valery at me. I don't give a fuck what Paul Valery says.
What do you give a fuck about?
I give a fuck about you buying that painting. I give a fuck about you spending 40 grand on that piece of shit.
Don't start again, Mark.
I'm going to tell you what I give a fuck about. Since everyone is coming clean, I give a fuck about your snickering and insinuations. Your suggestion that I also find this painting a grotesque joke. You've refused to admit that I could feel a genuine attachment to it. You've tried to set up some sort of loathsome complicity between us. And that's what's made me feel, Mark, to use your own expression, how little binds us together these days. Your perpetual display of distrust.
It's true. I can't imagine you genuinely loving that picture.
But why?
Because I love Serge. And I can't love the Serge who's capable of buying that painting.
Why do you say buying? Why don't you say loving?
Because I can't say loving. I can't believe loving.
But why would I buy it if I didn't love it?
That's the nub of the question.
You see how smug he is? I'm trying to be straightforward, and he responds in this pompous, heavy-handed tone. And it never crossed your mind for a second, however improbable it might seem, that I might really love it, and that your vicious, inflexible opinions and your vile assumption of complicity might actually be hurtful to me?
No.
When you asked me what I thought of Paula, a girl who once spent an entire dinner party maintaining that Ehlers-Danlos syndrome could be cured homeopathically, did I say I found her ugly, repellent, and totally charmless? I could have.
Is that what you think of Paula?
What's your theory?
No, of course he doesn't think that. You couldn't possibly think that of Paula.
Answer me.
You see the effect you can have?
Is what you just said what you think about Paula?
Worse, actually.
No!
Worse? Serge, will you explain to me how someone can be worse than repellent?
Interesting. I see that when it's something that concerns you personally, the words can bite a little deeper.
Will you explain how someone can be worse than repellent?
No need to take that frosty tone. Let me try and answer you. Perhaps it's the way she waves away cigarette smoke.
The way she waves away cigarette smoke.
Yes, the way she waves away cigarette smoke. What you think of as a harmless gesture, what you think of as a gesture of no significance, is in fact just the opposite. And the way she waves away cigarette smoke sits right at the heart of her repellentness.
You're speaking to me of Paula, the woman I share my life with, in these intolerable terms because you disapprove of her method of waving away cigarette smoke.
That's right. Her method of waving away cigarette smoke condemns her out of hand.
Serge, before I completely lose control, you'd better explain yourself. This is very serious what you are doing.
A normal woman might say,
I'm sorry. I find your smoke a bit uncomfortable. Would you mind moving your ashtray?
but not her. She doesn't deign to speak. She describes her contempt in the air with this calculated gesture, wearily malicious, this hand movement she imagines as imperceptible, the implication of which is to say, "Go on, smoke, smoke."
It's pathetic, but what's the point of calling attention to it?
Which means you can't tell if it's you or your cigarette that's gotten up her nose.
You're exaggerating.
You notice he doesn't say I'm wrong. He says I'm exaggerating, but he doesn't say I'm wrong. Her method of waving away cigarette smoke reveals a cold, condescending, and narrow-minded nature. Just what you're in the process of acquiring yourself. It's a shame, Mark. It's a real shame that you've taken up with such a life-denying woman.
No, Paula is not life-denying.
Take back everything you just said, Serge.
No.
Oh, you have to.
Serge, I demand that you take back what you just said.
Oh, take it back. Take it back. This is ridiculous.
For the last time, I demand you take back what you just said.
In my view, the two of you are an aberration, a pair of fossils.
Get away! Mind your own business!
Oh, shit!
Show me.
Oh, shit!
Show me. Show me. Show me. It's nothing. It's okay. Just a minute.
Couple of freaks, both of you.
Here you are. Hold this on it for a while.
Two normal men going completely insane.
Don't get excited.
That really hurt. If I find out you burst my eardrum.
Of course.
How do you know? You're not your nose and throat. Two old friends. Educated people.
Just calm down.
You can't demolish someone just because you don't like her method of waving away cigarette smoke.
Yes, you can.
Well, all right. But it doesn't make any sense.
What do you know about sense?
Oh, attack me. Keep attacking me. I could be hemorrhaging internally. I've just seen a mouse run by.
It's a rat.
A rat?
He comes and goes.
You have a rat?
Don't take the compress away. Leave it where it is.
What's the matter with you? What's happened between you? Something must have happened for you to get this demented.
I've bought a work of art which makes Mark uncomfortable.
You're starting again. You're in a downward spiral, both of you. You can't stop yourselves. It's like me and Colette, the most pathological relationship you can imagine.
Who is Colette?
My stepmother?
Oh, you haven't mentioned her for a while.
Why didn't you tell me right away what you thought about Paula?
I didn't want to upset you.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No. When I asked you what you thought of Paula, what you said was, she's a perfect match for you.
Yes.
It sounded positive coming from you, given the state you were in at the time.
All right, what are you trying to prove?
But today, your assessment of Paula, or in other words of me, is far harsher.
I don't understand.
Oh, of course you understand.
I don't.
Since I can no longer support you in your frenzied, though recent craving for novelty, I've become condescending, narrow-minded, fossilized.
I'm in agony. It's like something's drilling through my brain.
You have a sip of brandy.
What do you think? If something's shaking loose in my brain, don't you think alcohol is a little risky?
Do you want an aspirin?
Oh, aspirin.
No, what the fuck do you want?
Don't worry about me. Carry on with your preposterous conversation. Don't pay any attention to me.
Easier said than done.
You might squeeze out a drop of compassion. But no!
I don't mind your spending time with Paula. I don't resent you being with Paula.
You have no reason to resent it.
But you resent me. Well, I was gonna say for being with the Entreos.
Yes,
I don't understand.
I didn't replace you with Paula.
Are you saying I replaced you with the Entreos?
Yes.
I replaced you with the Entreos.
Yes! With the Entreos! And everything it implies.
Do you understand what he's talking about?
I couldn't care less. You're both insane.
In my time, you'd have never bought that picture.
What's that supposed to mean in your time?
The time when you made a distinction between me and other people, when you judged things by my standards?
Was there such a time?
Oh, that is just cruel and petty.
No, I assure you, I'm staggered.
And if Ivan hadn't turned into such a sponge, he'd back me up.
Keep going. Keep going. It's water off a duck's back.
There was a time that you were proud to be my friend. You congratulated yourself on my being a maverick. You exhibited me untamed to your circle. You, whose life was so normal. I was your alibi. But eventually, I suppose those kinds of affections dry up. Belatedly, you claim your independence.
Oh, I like belatedly.
But I detest your independence. It's violence. You've abandoned me. I've been betrayed. As far as I'm concerned, you're a traitor.
If I understand correctly, he was my mentor. And if I loved you as my mentor, what was the nature of your feelings?
You can guess.
Yes, but I want to hear you say it.
Huh. I loved the way you saw me. I was flattered. I was always grateful to you for thinking of me as a man apart. I even thought being a man apart was somehow a superior condition, until one day you pointed out to me that it wasn't.
This is very alarming.
Yes, it's the truth.
What a disaster.
Yes, what a disaster.
What a disaster.
Especially for me. Whereas you found a new family. Your penchant for idolatry has unearthed new objects of worship, the artist. Deconstruction.
What is deconstruction?
Oh, you don't know about deconstruction? Well, ask Serge. He's very much on top of the subject. To convince me that some piece of artwork is comprehensible, you pick a word from Builder's Weekly. Oh, see, you're smiling. And when you smile like that, it makes me think there's still some hope, like an idiot.
Why don't you make up? Let's enjoy ourselves this evening. All this is ludicrous.
It's my fault. We haven't been spending as much time together. I've been away, and then you started mixing with the high end. Ooh, the Robsons, the Sacklers. Oh, that dentist, Roger Hallier, he's the one who...
No. He's from another world. He only likes conceptual art.
It's all the same thing.
No, it's all the same thing.
You see, more evidence of how I let you slip away. Now when we talk, we can't even make ourselves understood.
I had no idea whatsoever the extent to which I was under your influence, the amount to which you owned me.
Or didn't own you, as it turns out. You should never leave your friends unchaperoned. Your friends need to be chaperoned, otherwise they'll get away. Look at poor Ivan, whose chaotic behavior used to delight us. We've allowed him to become this timid stationer, practically married. He brought us his originality, and now he's making every effort to piss it away.
Us? He brought us? You understand what you're saying? Everything has to revolve around you. Why can't you accept people for themselves, Mark?
What is that supposed to mean for themselves?
For what they are.
But what are they? What are they? Apart from my faith in them. I'm desperate to find a friend with some kind of prior existence. So far, I've had no luck. I've had to mold you. But you see, there comes a day when your creature has dinner with the Sacklers, and to confirm his new status, he runs off and buys a white painting.
So here we are, at the end of a 15-year friendship.
Yep.
Pathetic.
See, if only I'd been able to. If only we'd been able to have a normal discussion. If only I'd been able to express my feelings without losing my temper.
Yes, well?
Never mind.
Yes, why can't we exchange one single dispassionate word?
I don't believe in the values that dominate contemporary art. The rule of novelty, the rule of surprise. Surprise is dead meat, Serge. No sooner conceived than dead.
All right, so?
That's all. That's what my appeal to you was. My surprise value.
What are you talking about?
Surprise has lasted quite a while, I'll admit it.
Finkelstein's a genius. I told you he understood this whole thing.
I'd prefer it, Ivan, if you stopped umpiring and stopped imagining you weren't fully implicated in this conversation.
You want to implicate me? I refuse. What's this have to do with me? I've got a burst eardrum. You work things out for yourselves.
See, Ivan, what I can't bear about you at the moment, quite apart from what I've already told you, is your desire to is your craving to put Serge and me on the same level. Put us on an equal footing. You would like that, wouldn't you, to indulge your cowardice? Talking on an equal footing, equal the way you thought we were when we were friends. We were never equal, Ivan. You have to choose.
I have chosen.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, I don't mean a supporter.
Oh, you're not going to turn the poor boy down now, are you?
Why do we see each other if we hate each other? And it's obvious we do hate each other. I mean, well, I don't hate you, but you hate each other, and you both hate me, so why do we see each other? I was looking forward to a relaxing evening after a ridiculously crazed week. Meeting my two best friends, going to the movies, having a good time, getting away from all these dramas.
Are you aware you've talked about nothing but yourself?
Well, who are you talking about? Everybody talks about themselves.
You fuck up our evening.
You fuck up your evening?
Yes.
I fuck up I fuck up your evening?
Yes, don't get upset.
Are you saying it's me who fucked up your evening?
Yes, how many more times are you going to say it?
Just answer the question. Are you saying it's me who fucked up your evening?
You arrived 3/4 of an hour late. You don't apologize. You swamp us with your domestic woes.
And your inertia, your sheer, neutral spectator's inertia, has lured Mark and me into the worst excesses.
You two? You're gonna start on me too?
Yes, because on this subject, I'm entirely in agreement with him. You create the conditions of conflict.
I could burst into tears. I could start crying right now. I'm very close to tears.
Cry!
Right.
Cry? You've been telling me to cry.
You've got every reason to cry. You're losing your two best friends. You're marrying a Gorgon.
So this is it?
Well, you said
It's
it
all over.
Well, you said it yourself. Well, what good is there in seeing each other if we hate each other?
But what about my wedding? You're my witnesses, remember?
Find someone else.
I can't!
Well, you can find someone at the last minute.
You're not allowed to!
Of course you
You
are.
know you're not!
Calm down, we'll come.
But what you should do is cancel the wedding.
Well, he's right.
What have I ever done to you? Shit! This is savage what you're doing. You could have had your fight after the 12th. But no. You're determined to ruin my wedding. A wedding which is already a catastrophe. Which has made me lose 10 pounds. And now you're totally fucking it up. The only two people whose presence guarantees some spark of satisfaction are determined to destroy one another. Just my luck. You think I like packs of filofax paper and rolls of Scotch tape. You think any normal man wakes up one day desperate to sell expandable document wallets. What am I supposed to do? I fought it around for 40 years. I made you laugh. Oh, yes, wonderful. I made all my friends laugh their heads off playing the fool. But at night, who went home solitary as a rat? Who crawled back into his hole all on his own? This buffoon, dying of loneliness, who'd switch on anything that talked. And who did he find on his answering machine? His mother. His mother. His mother.
Oh, don't get so upset.
Oh, don't get so upset. Who upset me in the first place? Look at me. I don't have your refined sensibilities. I'm not a heavyweight. I don't have an opinion.
Calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. What possible reason do I have to calm down? Are you trying to drive me crazy telling me to calm down? Calm down's the worst thing you could say to somebody who's lost his calm. I'm not like you. I don't want to be an authority figure. I don't want to be a point of reference. I don't even want to be self-sufficient. I just want to be your friend, Ivan, the Joker. Ivan the Joker.
Could we try to steer clear of pathos?
I'm finished. You got anything to nibble on? Anything at all? Just to keep from passing out.
I've got some olives.
Hand them over.
You want some?
You got any place to put the...
Yeah.
reach these extremes. Apocalypse. Because of a white square.
It's not white.
It's a piece of white shit. That's what it is. It's a piece of white shit. Face it, pal. You buying this thing is demented.
You have one of your famous felt tips?
What for? You're not going to draw the painting, are you?
Do you or don't you?
Wait a minute. Yeah, the blue one.
Give it to me. Go on. Go on.
You're not going to do it.
Come on.
You're lunatics, both of you.
Well, I'm starving. Do you want to go eat?
The day after the wedding, Catherine put her wedding bouquet in a little bag of sugared almonds on her mother's grave at the Woodlawn Cemetery. I slipped behind the monument to cry. And later in that evening, when I thought back on this touching tribute, I started silently sobbing in my bed. I simply have to speak with Finkelstein about this tendency to cry. I cry all the time. It's not normal for someone my age. It all started, or clearly revealed itself at Serge's, the evening of the white painting. After Serge, an act of pure madness, demonstrated to Mark that he cared more for him than he did about his painting. We went and had dinner at Carmine's. Over dinner, Serge and Mark made the decision to reconstruct a relationship destroyed by word and deed. At one point, one of them used the phrase trial period, and I burst into tears. This expression, trial period, applied to our friendship, set me off in an uncontrollable and ridiculous convulsion. In fact, I can no longer stand any form of rational argument. Nothing formative in this world, nothing great or beautiful in this world was ever born of rational argument.
When Mark and I had succeeded in obliterating the skier with the aid of Swiss soap plus added ox gall, recommended by Paula, I looked at the entreos and turned to Mark. Did you know the ink from felt tips was washable? No, Mark answered. No, did you? No, I answered quickly, lying. I came within an inch of saying, yes, I guess I did know, but how could I have started our trial period with such a disappointing admission? On the other hand, was it right to start with a lie? A lie. Let's be reasonable. Why am I being so absurdly virtuous? Why does my relationship with Mark have to be so complicated?
Under the white clouds, snow is falling. You can't see the white clouds, or the snow, or the cold, or the white glow of the earth. A solitary man glides downhill on his skis. The snow is falling. It falls until the man disappears back into the landscape. My friend Serge has bought a painting. He's one of my oldest friends. It's a canvas, about 5 feet by 4, and it represents a man who moves across a space and then disappears.